Down in the basement. Right.
I don't know that it's the old lunchroom, but yes, down in the basement.
Big area.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the February 12th, 2024 Plan Commission meeting. We're going to go ahead and request those that are here, please sign in. Because if you speak, then you need to be signed in anyway. The meeting is being recorded. So we're going to do roll call. Beryl Carpenter. Amanda Cope. Here. Josh Fletcher.
Present.
Tina King. Jack Brana.
Here.
Jennifer Sharkey.
Here.
Grant Moore.
Here.
Jeff Peters.
Here.
Susan Ralston. Steve White.
Here.
Nick Sutton.
Here.
And Austin Boudreaux.
Present.
And City Attorney Kim Shao.
Here.
Jennifer Barclay. Okay, so we have a confirmation of a quorum. Okay. Let's see. I'll let Jennifer take over here.
So we're gonna do 2 appointments tonight. There was some confusion at the last meeting over a BZA appointment. So I tried to clarify here a bit. The BZA appointment is a plan commission member to the BZA, and you serve full membership there. So looking at how our membership is structured, it does either have to be Josh, Tina, Brant, Jeff, or Nick. So one of you guys get to go serve the BZA.
Well, I'm already there though, correct?
That your appointment was up, so you can go back if you'd like, if the board appoints you there again.
Okay, that wasn't what the conversation I had with the mayor, but okay.
Yeah, so you're a plan commission member that has served on the BZA. So
I thought it was the other way around, but okay.
no, it's, so you're a great member, so if someone wants to nominate him, if you're willing to do it, or like I said, it's Josh, Tina, Jeff, or Nick. All of you guys are eligible to go serve on the BZA.
I nominate Brent.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the second item is the plat committee. We have Amanda Cope, who's serving, Tina King, Jeff Peters, and Jen Sharkey. We need one more member. This person does not have to be a plan commission member, can be a member, resident of the city. But we do need to get another person on the plat committee. Is there anyone who'd like to serve on that? The meetings will be at, I think they decided 3:30, the last meeting. You guys decided to, before our plan commission meetings, if they're needed.
I thought we had talked about somebody at the last meeting, did we not?
It was me.
Oh.
I could technically, but I think just to be safe, we probably should have me on that board or committee.
Could you repeat who's on there? I think 3 of the,
Amanda, Tina King, Jeff Peters, and yourself.
thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, it doesn't look like we have any takers. So what?
You guys can't meet until you have 5 people.
I don't live in the city, so I cannot.
Or find someone that's a resident to serve.
How many meetings is that?
We haven't had one yet, so it's, you remember updating the ordinances, we decided to go with the plat committee. So this is when you have a minor subdivision, so just a couple lots. When they're moving lot lines, just basically simpler subdivisions of land. This board will still see what you would call a major plat, where there's, I think, 5 or more lots. They'd still become before this body. So it just is a more streamlined process to help the smaller cases.
Be willing to serve.
I nominate Jack.
I second.
Okay, now that that's decided, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting, January 8th, 2020? They were included with the packet.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Say all approve. All approve.
Aye.
Is there any old business? And I'll refer to Jennifer for our 2 cases this evening.
So I'll go through the staff report and then the applicants can come up and present their case. And then we'll have anyone that's wishing to remonstrate after that. So the first case is the Menard subdivision. It is a primary plat. The applicant is Civil Environment Consultants, Terry Wright. The owner is Menards. The location is 3200 North Wayne Street. The current zoning is C2. Today is the hearing, February 12th. Legal notices appeared in the Herald on February 2nd, and 17 property owners were sent notices. Title 18 of the UDO and Indiana Code 36-7-4-700 series apply here. It's not within a floodplain, and staff is recommending conditional approval. A summary that the Menards retail was first constructed in the early 2000s. They have seen growth around their location, most recently Bell Tire at the intersection. With the ever-changing economy, Menards now desires to sell off outlots from their current property. The building sits on essentially 7 parcels of grounds right now. And they have about 200,000 square foot building with a garden center, parking lot, water detention facilities. Additionally, the Steuben County Trail does go along the south and west property lines. Some contextual zoning, the property is zone C2 and surrounded by mostly commercial. To the east, there is some agriculture and residential as well. This is a site plan for the property. Again, this is being subdivided into 5 outlots and 2 blocks for stormwater detention and a private drive. So lot number 6 will house, that's simply one, will house the Menards store and all the associated parking and outbuildings. The existing drive is going to remain, and lots 1 through 3 are along North Wayne Street there. They'll get their access from that drive. Lot number 5 to the south, and lot number 6 will also gain their access from that drive as well. So that's like the yellow and the red. So that gives you some idea how that will all play out. Sorry. There we go. So there are a few outstanding plan review comments regarding easements. Nothing really all that concerning at this point. So these are some pictures along the drive, looking over the lots, the outlots. As we said, there's going to be 2 along here, That's kind of the south end of where there's two. Again, that's the trail. That's one of the detention or block areas. And that will be a lot as well here. Block, that. And then this will also be a lot. This is just a nice overview. Somehow Brett found this. So there's a lot here, 2 lots here, 1 there, and 1 here. That helps everyone. So the comprehensive plan, principle 1, manage community growth and form, objective 1.5 and 1.7 speak to this about redevelopment or infill of lots or densifying in our areas. Principle 5, objective 5.3 and 5.7 talk about shovel-ready sites and retaining business. We have not received any public input, or staff hasn't to date. In conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. This further densifies and connects our commercial corridor to the north. Additionally, the property can accommodate the densification, and we'll be able to get some more developable lots in the commercial area. There are findings of facts for this, and staff is recommending just the condition that the plan review comments are addressed prior to signing of the plat. Any questions for staff?
Yes. What's gonna happen to the, or maybe that's gonna be the next case. I was just worried about concerned about the bike path.
The bike path remains. That will not be changing. There's an easement that protects that bike path.
Okay. And then is there going, it looks like there could be, especially they're looking at the west lots. There could be a lot of,
Over here.
where are they looking?
That's out.
They're looking at the west lots, aren't they? One's right
Oh,
by.
these
Yeah.
along here?
I mean,
Okay.
that's a lot of increased traffic. Okay.
Yep, so they'll gain their access from the private drive. There's not gonna be any new curb cuts along North Wayne or Wendell Jacobs.
Well, I'm just thinking those driveways from 200 North and Wendell Jacobs and North Wayne Street, that's going to be an additional traffic.
Yeah.
Potentially a lot.
Yes, but we're minimizing any impact by, there's not gonna be any cuts along here. It's all gonna be along this drive.
So what would the setback be from the property line on the west where the bike path would be to where they can build?
So, here, this is a side lot line. So the easement, Amanda, do you remember off the top of your head how large the easement is?
Like 20 feet.
20 feet, and the path is actually 10. Yeah. So the easement itself is 20 feet wide. So depending on where the path is, I think it's centered. So you get 5 feet of extra just buffer there. That's a side yard setback there. I don't know that off the top of my head, but it's in the commercial area. You're talking probably at least 10 for that. Over here, that you're dealing with a front yard setback there, which is around 20 to 30.
And that would be the build line, 20 or 30.
Yep. From the
In
property
addition
line
to the
itself.
easement.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
with the bike trail.
Yeah, so it's the property line setback.
So I have a question. So is the parking then incorporated within all of that? Is parking going to be,
On the outlots.
or Menards over?
So we are having them do a cross shared parking agreement. However, each lot will have its own development plan and will have to meet those standards as well.
So there will be additional traffic crossing. Am I understanding that right? Crossing the bike path to get to
Yeah.
the
So the
respective.
next case is Fast Pace, which is the
Okay.
green lot here. They have their own parking lot.
Okay. Okay. Is anybody here that would like to speak on behalf of this project?
I'm sorry.
The green lot when they're building it,
The next case, yes, is the green lot.
and they have to drive across the bike path to get into it.
The bike path comes up here. And the access will be over here.
It's like that.
Like pass along North Wayne.
Okay, they don't have to drive across it then.
Only at the entrance. Only at the entrance. They can't cross in the driveway there. on
What
the
exists
south side.
today, yep.
So nothing changes.
Hi,
State your name and address, please.
sure. My name is Tom O'Neill. I'm with Menards. Address is 5101 Menard Drive, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 54703. I'm here on behalf of Menards before the Planning Commission this evening. Requesting support for the primary plat and for staff's recommendation of approval. When we worked on the assemblage here 20 odd years ago, we have assembled 7 different pins from a handful of different property owners. At the time, we were more concerned about getting the store up and open. I don't even know if the city had a commercial subdivision code back then, but that was kind of secondary to us from getting the out parcels divided. But the infrastructure has been set up for it from a water and sanitary sewer and stormwater perspective. So it was always intended that the properties be developed commercially to the west of the store. Just requesting your support and approval here this evening. So thank you. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
How long has Menards been here?
Oh, right around 2002 or 3 or 4. So it's been nearly 20 years now.
Dang, a long time.
Time flies.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak for or against the project?
More of an introduction. My name is Terry Wright. I'm with Civil Environmental Consultants. We're out of Indianapolis, Indiana, 530 East Ohio Street, Suite G. So I'm here to support Tom if you guys got any questions about the actual plat or the primary plat or the secondary. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
How does this affect the cemetery? The cemetery on this green lot,
No, I think the cemetery's out in front of Meyer.
That's in front of Meyer.
that's in front of mine, that's right.
We're not going to touch it in that case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready for the findings of fact. Okay.
Number 1, and before I'll dive in here, one of the other changes with the update of our zoning code was more streamlined findings of facts. So it's a little bit different from last year. So the subdivision of land is consistent, is or is not consistent with the Angola Comprehensive Plan.
It is.
Staff suggests the finding that the Menards subdivision is consistent with the plan, objectives 1.5, 1.7, 5.3, and 5.7. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Number 2, the subdivision of land satisfy or does not satisfy the development requirements of the subdivision standards.
Pass.
Okay, staff suggests the finding, the commercial development, it's a commercial subdivision and a commercial development with no foreseeable variances once all plan review comments and conditions are met. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
The subdivision of land does or does not satisfy the design standards of Title 18. Staff suggests the finding that once all the plan review comments are addressed, it will adequately satisfy. Additionally, the internal drive will remain private and not a public street. Agree or disagree? The subdivision land does or does not satisfy all other applicable titles. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Again, once all the plan review comments are met and staff added the feeling of this sort of development is consistent with the surrounding area. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Finally, the subdivision of land satisfies the construction requirements in Angola's construction standards. Again, once all the plan review comments are met, it will, staff just finding that it will. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I have a motion to approve with the condition that all outstanding plan review comments be approved by staff.
A second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll move on to our next case now for fast-paced health urgent care.
So within that subdivision that we just reviewed, Fast Peace Health is applying for a development plan. Again, the owner is Menards, but the applicant is Align CEC, sorry. Notices appeared in the Herald on February 2nd, and 17 property owners were sent a letter. Title 18 of the UDO and Indiana Code 367-4-1400 series apply. And staff is recommending conditional approval. So a little bit of background. We just heard about the property being subdivided. Fast Paced Health began in 2009 in Tennessee. They have grown to 250 plus healthcare centers across Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Indiana, and Alabama. The closest one is in Kendallville. They offer urgent care, primary care, orthopedics, dermatology, behavioral health, physical therapy, and telehealth. Again, the same contextual zoning as we just heard. This is the site plan for the property. So this building is being proposed in the northeast corner of the lot, right here. It's a single story. Parking is located to the south and west of the building. They have 2 ADA parking spaces right by the door, 23 parking spaces that all gain access from the private drive of the Menards. So here's the entrance along North Lane to Menards that exists today. And here's that drive that exists today as well. The building will be oriented towards North Wayne. So this would be the North Wayne side, south here. They have some architectural features, materials that all meet our architectural standards. And this is the landscape plan, which satisfies our landscape standards. They grouped the landscaping or the trees so the building is visible for North Wayne. Here's some similar pictures as before. Again, the trails remaining. This is where it would be developed. And these are all the same objectives or principles from the comprehensive plan as before as well. In conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. It further connects and densifies the commercial corridor. and it meets all our development standards. And complements our comprehensive plan as well. So we do suggest 2 conditions of approval. Again, the plan review comments and that signage will be approved separately. Is there any questions for staff?
Is there anyone here who would like to speak on behalf of this project? Could you state your name and address, please?
Yeah, I am Tabitha Briones. I am one of the engineers for this project, and I'm with Align CEC, 1285 South Jackson Street, Greencastle, Indiana. So essentially just what they proposed, putting in the facility, trying to meet all of the development standards. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
We don't see any need for any variances. That's what you're gonna do with this.
That's what I've been trying to guess. Took a little bit of changes, but we got it to work.
And then you're building the building, or is Menards building a building for you?
So it's kind of a chain. So Menards owns it, and Fast Pace has a purchase agreement. Then they'll, I believe, own a lot.
We are selling to,
Yeah.
yes.
And then they will have agreements to use the sanitary water, and they've built in some other agreements with the plat. And it's kind of where we're at now is now that the plat's approved, we have all the easements and everything set up for Fast Pace to purchase the property, and we're just the engineer working for Fast Pace.
And then when do you, maybe this is in your wheelhouse here, but when do you expect, if everything gets approved and so forth, and he signs off on all your variances?
So we've done a few for Fast Pace, and I would say between 8 to 12 months, where they usually have the store up and running. It's not store, they have the facility up and running. We have one where I live, and I didn't do that one. Obviously, I live in the town, so we try to avoid conflict, but we've gotten to use it, and it's pretty nice. It's a very modern looking building, and they staff it with a physician or with a doctor and an MA, medical assistant, I think. Not in medical, but they do x-rays and a lot of different things that your normal walk-in clinics don't do. So
Wow.
it's a good,
They can get a doc up here.
it was a good source, yeah.
Wow.
That's out of my.
Yeah. You deal with the brick and mortar.
Yes.
Staff, huh? Good point.
On your diagram up here, the parking lot would be facing 127 or North Wayne. Is that correct?
That's, she's kind of pointing to the main face of the building.
Okay, that's the main, okay, so that would be west on that,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so the bike path is on,
Yeah, the bike.
Yeah, you can kind of see it right there,
In
yeah.
the front door, between the front door and the road.
And just to let you know, the from the property line, from the front of the building, it's 50 feet for the setback of the building. And 20 feet to the north, 20 to the east, and it's 20 to the south, but we just had to stay out of the, I forget what the setback was for the, I think it's like 10 or 15 feet to the south for our parking,
okay.
the property line.
And that's, I think it says 22 right there to the trail itself, to the parking lot.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the questions, was the trail distance. We put that on there.
A couple of us are on the trail sport, and as soon
Yeah,
as
it's
something
nice.
starts happening out there, we're gonna
Yeah.
have questions, so we.
No, you're good. And
let you know.
I do a lot of I actually design a lot of pathways. So the sign is more than 3 feet, which is your like obstruction distance. Oh yeah, that's Menards up there, but ours is actually to the south.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah.
That's gonna be a low profile.
Below Monument, I believe. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Drainage, will that go into the detention ponds?
Yeah, you kind of see it on the southwest of there, southeast.
And you're gonna be sharing that with Menards and Bell Tire?
The whole development actually drains by storm drain to that facility. It was oversized.
That little detention pond by Bell Tire?
Bill Fire has their own.
Yeah.
Well, that's theirs, and then, but the big detention pond's on the south.
We're going to the big one.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak for or against the project? Not seeing any? Jennifer?
We'll move to the findings of facts. So for the development plan, the development is or is not consistent with the comprehensive. Staff suggests the finding, citing the previous objectives from the comprehensive plan. Agree or disagree? Number two, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable development standards in the zoning district section. Just the finding that once all plan review and comments are adequately addressed, and the use is office medical, which is permitted in C2. Agree or disagree? Number three, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable standards in the development standards. So the development plan meets the standards for parking, lighting, architecture, landscaping, once all in view comments are adequately addressed. Agree or disagree? The development plan does or does not satisfy all other applicable titles of the UDO. Again, this is once all routing comments are addressed. Agree or disagree? Number five, the development plan does or does not satisfy the construction standards. Again, once all routing comments are addressed. That notes. Agree or disagree? Agree.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
A motion to approve with the conditions of approval that all outstanding plan review comments addressed to staff's satisfactory and signage shall be reviewed and approved separately of this application.
A second? All in favor? Thank you. Anything else we need to go over?
So we do have, if anyone has any reports they'd like to make, I can start and then you guys can filter in after me. I did send everyone an email about training, that citizens planner training. It is all online. I think there was some confusion about previous training. We don't know if it's self-paced or you have to be online at a certain time yet. But we can, it's self-paced. When you did it?
You have a certain amount of time to do it.
Okay,
You can't take the final until a certain time.
okay,
But you can finish it if you want.
okay. So the courses are self-paced itself.
It's quite interesting.
So that gives us a little bit of guidance there. So if you're interested in attending, just let me know. Finally, and Kim may be able to clarify this more than I can. We had talked about when I first started, that the zoning administrator or the director, the position I hold, the planning commission should affirm the mayor's appointment. So we just probably need to do that for, I guess, just
Record keeping.
record is the best way. Kim, is that fair? Okay.
Okay, so the motion would be to appoint Jennifer as the zoning director,
Sure. Yeah.
administrator for the city of Angola.
So moved.
Second.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
With that, does anyone else have anything they'd like to report? Adjourn.
Not hearing anything. We are adjourned.
PZA this month.
Thank you.
You know?
Yes.
I like these last ones on the jacket. Good to see you. Glasses? No, oh, I like the. Oh, thank you. I got another pair of readers. Yeah, thank you. Very cool reading about this.
Oh, what that? Yeah. They did an excellent
Yeah.
I didn't know any. Time. Yeah. That's an interesting part of the
Of course, we said anything.
Yeah.